The aim at the start of the 2022 African Women's Cup of Nations in Morocco was first to qualify for the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, and then win Nigeria's 10th African Women's Cup of Nations title. But the truth is, the latter was not to be. But you have to encourage and believe in the fighting spirit of the Super Falcons at the competition. Joining me to discuss the Super Falcons on today's edition of the show is none other than Nigeria's finest, that's what I like to call him, sport journalist, John Oje today. Fantastic pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you very much, Solomon. It's great to be here, doing this with you once again.
And importantly, let's go straight to what we have. The Super Falcons, the aim at first is qualify for the FIFA World Cup. Yeah. They've done that already. Yes. But winning the title again became so difficult in that game against Morocco.
It was really a very tough performance. It was a good performance, tough. But in the end, the main aim, was actually to qualify for the World Cup, just like you mentioned. But because of the pressure, on World Drum, because of past coaches who have won.
Yeah.
So there's also a lot of pressure because it is the 10th time, the golden one, which is, let me quickly take you to Serena Williams. Remember she has been trying to achieve, the 24 title, but it never came to reality. I hope that won't be the case for the Super Falcons, where they'll be, trying to get the 10th, title, but eventually maybe it's trying to elude it. But take nothing away from the Moroccan Solomon. It was really a fantastic performance from them. You need to see their build up all from the way, from the group stage, down to the semi-finals where they defeated Super Falcons. But speaking about Super Falcons, Solomon, I've never seen a spirited performance like that in a very, very long time. 9 men against 11, and they gave their all. That is quite massive. And I must say a good well done, to the coach Wardron for doing a fantastic job. Like, yes, you can blame, all the players for not, being, calculative enough.
Well, was it the players to blame or pressure? Was it pressure or players to blame, or maybe the officiating wasn't a bit? Because I felt after the first red card, yes, the second tackle has warranted a yellow already. Why not give a yellow and move on? The one on Rashida Tajibade.
Yes, Solomon.
Yes, you're giving Ainde the red card, yes. But why not just give Rashida the yellow and let's move on with the game?
See, that's why you're not a referee. We have laws of the game, and the laws of the game are very, very clear as regards, tackles like that. So for the Super Falcons, they just need to be disciplined, enough going into the competition. Remember that we have the World Cup just by the corner, and then they need to look at some of these, little details and see how they can work on it. I'm sure if the game had been, equal, in terms of let's have 11-11, it rather wouldn't have gone down, because even when it was 9 against 11, I saw the Super Falcons still getting to ensure that they hurt the Moroccans just right in their half. So it was a great performance, and I had players that stood out for me, and I don't know if Solomon you're going to talk about players that stood out, but generally it was a wonderful performance. Yeah, maybe the red card wasn't meant. It wasn't part of the script. They say football is like biscuit. You don't know exactly where to crack.
Since you've talked about the players, which of the players impressed you? I was impressed by the goalkeeper, but let me hear you.
Yes, obviously, Ajibade should be my first pick, because I saw that she ran the entire show during the tournament in terms of creating, in terms of assists, in terms of goals. She's been the standout, performer in that team, and all I can say is that the sky is her starting point, and her game has improved a lot ever since she joined, Atletico Madrid. It just tells you that when you play for a good club and you play under a wonderful coach, it has a way of blending your game, and you become, a better performer on the pitch. And also there are some notable mentions too, in that team. I can talk about Tony Payne, fantastic performance in the tournament. I can also talk about Plumter, Onumonu, Uche Nakanu. They gave their all this tournament. And I could say this for the Super Falcons. Maybe in the first two or three games, it was a bit slow. It was a bit tacky. Not the kind of performance that you want to see. But gradually they grew into the tournament, and that the coach, you could actually say that the coach actually look at the performance in the first and second game and try to spice and change things up. Those are the good credentials of a coach who is willing to change things when things are not going well.
Now we've talked about, yes, we've praised the team. Let's look at the weaknesses. I saw that at the tournament, to an extent, the defense was so good. We had issues with it, but the defense was good. But it was in the midfield that we got caught up. even with the red cards going to Alide and Rashida, even with a bit of creativity, it was still the midfield. How do you encourage that the World Cup?
Yes,
Because
basically.
the World Cup is coming.
Yes.
You can't make short mistakes at the World Cup.
Of course, basically, and what you have to do is that first, I think you have to look at where you have more strength, because in football sometimes you have to complement with your strength and see how to reduce, the level of weakness. And I saw, certain parts, in the tournament where, the coach had to, change things up, especially in the midfield when you see that things are not working. But in the World Cup you can't afford to make mistakes like that. In the World Cup you can't afford to start experimenting, so you have to bring in your A game. And just like I mentioned earlier about strength. Basically, going forward in our attack, we've got players who've got strength, we've got agility, who are good runners. We need to focus more on that and see how we can hurt teams. Then in the midfield, yes, Ajibade remains, the most creative player in that, but we also need a player that can complement our effort, because sometimes when you heap a lot of pressure on just one player, at the end of the day, when these other teams find you out, they know that this is the plug, this is center, hold her down, then there is no form of creativity. That could go on, to hurt us. So I think the coach needs to look into that and also look out for players that can come in, like I said, and complement the effort of the midfield. Yes, like you mentioned, the midfield has really not been that in terms of fluidity. We've not really had that, but in the defense, oh my God, that defense has rock solid because of the centre back pairing. So the coach has to look at that and also scout for talent that can actually help us in that area of the field.
You've been mentioning the coach.
Yeah.
I know we are less than a year to the World Cup. Let's agree. Wardrum has not done what even the likes of Florence or Mark have done, winning the African Women's Cup of Nations. Was he still on the job till after the World Cup, or you just kick him out?
No, you don't have to kick him out. It wasn't a terrible performance at all. No, the coach gave his all. Like I mentioned, I said the first 1 or 2 games, it wasn't, it was a bit slow. It wasn't kind of performance that I expected. But I mean, he tried to change things up, in the tournament, generally. So the coach will stay. I saw traces of the input and the impact of the coach in that team. So some people might be trying to call for the head of the coach and say, okay, let's get an indigenous coach. No, come on. If you bring in an indigenous coach and they go to the World Cup and they still fail, then who do you have to blame at the end? So let's leave Wardrum to continue that job and complement what he did in this tournament.
Okay, 9 p.m. today it will be the final between South Africa and host Morocco. Quick prediction.
You see, if I look at how Morocco started this tournament, Solomon,
they are still unbeaten, though. You have to know.
Yes, and
South Africa.
You also look at the level of consistency, and also don't forget the backing of the crowd. I'm quite surprised with the fact that most of their games you record attendance of as high as 45,000 people coming to watch the game, and the level of support has been very massive. So let's leave the support, and also let's look at what they've done on the pitch. The Moroccans are very good in terms of fluidity. They know how to pass the ball, set pieces. I really cannot, pick out, even the weaknesses in the team. Just to tell you that they have a fantastic coach, a coach who has coached Lyon. She's won the French league in the women, category. I think she also won the Champions League, if my memory serves me right. So it has been a project that has been, it's not a 2-year project, but this project has been there in the last 4 or 5 years, and now you can see the work the Moroccan FA has put in to ensure that women's football in Morocco has grown in leaps and bounds. And you must say kudos to the FA for doing a fantastic job. I'm talking about the prediction for the final. South Africa has been knocking on this door for a very, very, very long time, and I think maybe this is the time, that we could say that South Africa, deserve to actually win this one, because their stumbling block has always been the Super Falcons. Now the Super Falcons won't be competing against them in the final. That is the Moroccans. I think Super Falcons the South Africans have got the experience, to actually take out the Moroccans. Yeah, the Moroccans will be getting the support from the crowd, but I think that will be the experience of the South African women. They've been in the final, they've lost it, I think, about 2-3 times or more, and then so if you look at all of these packed together, I think that the South African women will not will not, see this one. Will not want to miss out on this one because it's been a very long time they've been knocking on the door, and this time the South Africans should nick this one.
He's going for South Africa, but something deep within me is telling me that Moroccans might just shock everyone in the final by 9 p.m. today. John Oje today, fantastic pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice, doing this one. So
if it's sad with the Super Falcons,
yeah, it's what it is. You just have to do what you have to do.
Hey, definitely. We just have to do what we have to do. And again, congratulations to the ladies because it was a spirited performance at the tournament in Morocco. There's still more to come on today's edition of the show. Stay tuned. We will be right back after this break. Today we celebrate the champions of the Nigerian Professional Football League, Rivers United, who deservedly are champions of the 2021-2022 league season. On PS Nigeria today, we bring to you all the action from the last match day of the league season. Enjoy all the goals and the promise remains as always, there's still more to come on the show today.
Plateau United welcomed 8-time NPFL champions, Eimba International of Aba. The hosts appeared to have pinned their guests to a high press in the opening minutes. Haggai Kato's corner kick was met in the air by Nabil Iyaro, whose effort opened up a counter-attack against Plateau United, but a mistimed pass killed off the sting of the moment. Haggai Kato's thunderous shot in the deep of second half provided moments of spectacle. Pedro, who laces a low shot, but goalkeeper Olorunleke Ojo proved capable to deal with it. 12 minutes after his start, Mohamed Zokifilo receives the ball at the left end of opposition half and passes to Akila Jesse, who combines superbly with Sunday Anthony before freeing himself up to unleash a low shot that hits the woodwork, and the rebound provides Zokifilo a chance to pounce and hand the Peace Boys a 1-0 lead and eventual winner for the game.
May we jam those beautiful hands together and welcome for the last time at the Godswill Pavilion Stadium the players of Dakota FC in white jerseys and the visitors Sunshine Stars in blue jerseys, brothers and sisters.
As you journey through life, have it at the back of your mind that failure is not the opposite of success, but a part of success. If you've enjoyed what we served on today's edition of Prime Sport, join us same time next week for what I believe is your #1 sports show on TV. Our social media platforms are right there on the screen. We encourage you to follow, drop your comments, drop your suggestions, and be a part of this big Prime Sport family. My name is Solomon Adivri. From all of us here, we say to you out there, God bless you for watching.